not online safety for children alone, online safety for women, for the elderly, and for the disabled, who are being scammed online as we push our populations to get more and more services online.
In terms of AR harms evolving, I think we have to stay vigilant. That's probably one of the most important lessons I've learned from the Algorithmic Justice League. When we were talking about algorithmic bias and algorithmic discrimination starting in 2016, people would look at me, what do you mean computers can be biased? And what's this AI thing you're talking about anyways, right? Now we're in a different part of the conversation where in most global settings, right, you will hear a nod to algorithmic bias or discrimination, and certainly to safety, right, and trustworthiness. And I think we might be reaching a point where there's assumed notion that we know what the harms are, right, and what to look out for. And what I'm advocating for is how do we actually create mechanisms and processes so we can continue to learn about evolving harms, because that taxonomy of what harms looks like continues to evolve.
What are some of the risks from your perspective that we should be thinking about in today's landscape, and do those align with some of the examples we've had so far?
The safeguarding that we need to put in place for our children is where we need to understand how AI is being used. The data manipulation, we touched briefly on the deep fake. Last December, we launched a new policy for the Gambia for online safety. Not online safety for children alone, online safety for women, for the elderly, and for the disabled, who are being scammed online as we push our populations to get more and more services online. I think we need to take a holistic approach on what are the risks. Of course, I don't want to be one of the doomers and gloomers. I'm teaching ethical AI for
also
SDGs.
bloomers.
Yeah. So for me, I think we have to look at building holistic digital resilience in our young people. There's issues in the United Kingdom of AI dopamine-driven algorithms that are pushing hate content, violent content. Recently, a couple of months ago, we had a shooting of a young man killed his mother and his brother and sister, and he was obsessively looking at mass school shooting. Now, that information was being pushed to him. I'm calling it the invisible online pandemic. And I believe that regulators and service providers have a duty of care. So when we talk about safety, where is the accountability? So when we talk about standards, I'll come to it. But for me, the risk is very, very evident in the United Kingdom. You mentioned gender-based violence online, the harassment that women are facing. Now, couple on that, the latest trend is the technology-facilitated gender violence. A lot of work has been done and research we're doing with women's groups and within my universities, students from Nigeria, from Rwanda, from the Gambia, but also from India, Malaysia, Nepal, and many others, understanding their lived experiences online. And without that information to feed into the data, the standards that we want to have and produce, and the frameworks, we will miss those evolving threats, especially with Gen AI.
I will end with a poem called Unstable Desire. Prompted to competition, where be the guardrails now? Threat in sight will might make right. Hallucinations taken as prophecy, destabilized on a middling journey to outpace, to open chase, to claim supremacy, to reign indefinitely. Haste and pace control altering deletion. Unstable desire remains undefeated. The fate of AI, still uncompleted. Responding with fear, responsible AI beware. Prophets do snare, people still dare to believe our humanity is more than neural nets and transformations of collected muses, more than data and errata, more than transactional diffusions. Are we not transcendent beings bound in transient forms? Can this power be guided with care, augmenting delight alongside economic destitution? Temporary band-aids cannot be held when the task ahead is to transform the atmosphere of innovation. And so that's my call to action for all of you.
Facial recognition block, we're here to make a planet. Can't nobody stop us. Everyone turn on your facial recognition block, we're here to make a planet. Can't nobody stop us. Everyone turn on